Right, so let's just run through what we're going to do. So in the assessments and in class, you're allowed to use a calculator for everything. So there's not any mental maths or anything you need to do. And if you can, please get one of these Casio calculators that I've got on the screen here. The one on the left is the old one that you'll have maybe used in school if you were in school 3 or 4 years ago. The middle one's a new one, which you see in the shops now. And on the right is the pink one that they have on sale in Tesco for some reason just now. Don't buy like a Tesco own brand one or like an Asda own brand one. They're rubbish. You'll end up buying it again. Right now, I know money's short just now for a lot of us, but if you can, please try and get one at some point. You will definitely need it for the assessment. Okay? Now, I'd imagine the majority of you will have them from school already. Right? I've got about 20 of them, but I can't give you one just now. Right, now as I said, they're £10 in Tesco at the moment. You might even find them cheaper online. You might find them cheaper on eBay or Amazon or something. And as I said, don't buy an own brand one. They're rubbish. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you what's in the course. Right, I'm not going to go through every single thing because there's absolutely no point. Right, you can read this when you want to read this in your own time. I know you can all read. Right, so semester 1 is statistics for science. It would normally be maths for science, but the way it's working this year, it's easier to do the statistics first because that's part of your graded unit at the end of the year, right? Now, the plan is that all teaching is going to be online for semester 1, and as I'm saying, the assessments will hopefully take place on campus with social distancing in place. Right, the social distancing will definitely be in place, but it's whether we can actually get them on campus is the other thing. Right, now, outcome 1 is just comparative statistics. So if you've done National 5 Maths or National 5 Life Skills Maths, you'll have done some of this before. You'll recognise some of the stuff, right? What's a population? What's the sample of a population? Measures a central tendency, that's just mean, median, and mode. Measures a spread, that's just standard deviation and stuff like that. And then differences between population characteristics. That's just stats from Nat 5 with maybe a wee bit more in depth. Okay, and then as I was saying before, mean, standard deviation you'll have done before, hopefully. If not, I'll go through them again. I'm going to do standard deviation a different way from what you did at Nat 5. Right, I'm going to show you an easier way that basically avoids you not having to round as much. Things you won't have done before is the coefficient of variation and the standard error, but we'll do them, it's easy enough. Then linear regression, lines of best fit, you'll have drawn lines of best fit before. Extrapolate values, you'll have done that in Nat 5 if you've done Nat 5, and then box plots and histograms, right? Now, for all of that, you can use Microsoft Excel. So there's not actually a great deal of calculations you need to do. It's all about learning how to use Excel, because if you get a job, if you're going to do something like this yourself, you're not going to do it with a pen and paper. You're going to do it with Microsoft Excel or some other software. So I'll show you how to do it by hand, but I'm more interested in the fact you can do it with Microsoft Excel. And as I said, the assessment will be in November time. I can't give you a date because I don't know quite what's happening with it yet, and it'll be 60% to pass. Okay, so all that stuff and 60% to pass. Now that stuff will take up the majority of the semester, so that'll take up about 11, 12 weeks maybe. Normally, I know we're a wee bit shorter for time than normal, but we've still got enough time. Right, now outcome 2 is in probability. It's much shorter. But you won't really have done anything like this before. You'll have done basic probability in first, second, and third year at high school, but you won't have covered any of this stuff before. Now, it's not stuff that I like that much, but it's stuff we've got to do. Okay? So normal distribution, binomial distribution, and Poisson distributions, there are 3 standard things that you'll need to use at uni when you go on and analyse stats for biology. And then you've got Venn diagrams and probability trees, and again you'll use these at uni as well. Now this is a much shorter outcome. Again, it will have its own assessment, and again, it's 60% to pass. And again, I've just said that'll be in December or January, right? Again, I'm not giving you a proper date because I don't know. So semester 1, you're going to have 2 outcomes, which means 2 assessments, which means 60% to pass. Okay, now what I'll do is I'm not going to go through semester 2 because we'll do that when we come to it. But again, I've put that in here, everything that we're going to do in semester 2, if you want to read it just now, right? But it's basically all the important bits from higher maths, right? But it's a lot less stuff than higher maths. It's like kind of 3 topics from higher maths is what we're going to be doing. Okay, rather than the 15 or 16 topics, it's really in higher maths. So, and the 3 of them are there. Again, because there's 3 outcomes, that means there's 3 assessments, and they'll all be 60% to pass. Okay, so 3 assessments in the semester 2, and again, all 60% to pass. Right. Now, before next week, as I said, I'm going to put this up on Moodle, so you don't need to read it all or take notes on this just now. I'm just rattling through it because I know you can read. What I need you to do, if possible, before next week is, can you make sure you've got a pen or pencil, and like a pad of paper. You'll end up probably writing quite a lot, right? I see maths as something that you do, so you've got to write it down and do all the work, and everybody seems to have a pen already, so that's good. So see if you just sit and watch someone doing maths, you don't take it in, you've got to do it yourself. It's like building a wall. You don't sit and watch somebody build a wall, you've got to build the wall yourself, right? Can you make sure you've got one of those calculators? Now, there's this app called Office Lens, right? What it does is it turns your phone or your tablet into a scanner. So it gives a perfect scan pretty much of a bit of work. So it means that if you're sitting struggling with something, you just take a scan with Office Lens and you email it to me, and then I can show you what you're doing wrong. The reason that we use that is the fact that everyone's got different phones. Some of them have got 48 megapixels, and see when you send me a picture in that, our email server ends up scrambling it because the picture's too good quality, right? So there's a video on Moodle I've just put up of how to download it for an Android phone. It's exactly the same for an Apple phone, exactly the same for a tablet. Right, now what I want you to do is also download Microsoft Excel. Now that is free for you guys, for you to download it. I'll just give you the details on the next slide. And if you can, turn up for class on time. I know sometimes we wake up 5 minutes late. See if you join the Zoom call 5 minutes late. I'd rather you joined the Zoom call than didn't join it, right? But try and be on time if you can, right? Now, in terms of downloading Microsoft Excel, there was a wee poster made last year of how you do it, right? So I don't know if you want to take just a note of how you get it. Now, this should still be working. So if you type in https://portal.office.com, you sign in with your college email address and password, such as your student number at my.inclan.ac.uk, and if you click install Office 2016. Now, does anyone not have a laptop or a computer yet? Has everyone got something to do that with? Hopefully, if you don't, then please ask for one from the college because you will need it for doing all the stuff in Excel. You can maybe get away with doing it on a tablet, but when you come into college to use Excel, you're going to be using a computer. So you're better doing that then. Right. Now, what I need to make sure is that my technology works. Okay? So I just want to practice something, and I want to see if you guys can see it and that it's smooth and it all works. Okay? So I want to get some feedback from you guys after I've done this. Okay? So here is an example. So it's just a little test. So here are the weights of 8 people. And so we've got 63 kilograms, 65, 65, 70, 72, 86, 90, and 97. Now, I always ask lots of questions when I'm in the middle of a class, and I've got to remember that you can't answer me straight away because you're on Zoom and you're muted. So if I do that for the first couple of weeks, I apologise, right? I don't mean it. It's just I'm just used to doing it in class. Right, so part one is I want to find the mean. And all I'm going to do is I just want to make sure that my little pen thing here is working and you can read it, right? And the mean is the total divided by the number of numbers, which is n. So that means that our mean is 63 plus 65 plus 65 plus 70. And I know you're probably going to say the reason it's so bad is because your handwriting is terrible. I know. I'll do my best to try and get better. It's been a long time since I've had to do anything like this. So you add all those numbers, that's the total, and you divide by how many numbers there are. You can either add them all up or you can see that there's 8 there. And then all we do is we put that into our calculator. And I've got one here. I don't have a calculator on the screen of this computer because it's a Mac and the calculator for the Macs don't show up on the software that I'm using. So unfortunately, so that gives me a total that your mean is 76. So hopefully if you sat and did that at the same time as me, I didn't ask you to do that, but if you did, you got 76. And then part B is the range. And our range is, remember, just think about it, it's the largest take away the smallest gives you your range. And this is all stuff from first, second, third year of school. I'm just doing this to make sure that you can read what I'm doing and it all works. So that gives you 34. So that's our range there. So our mean is 76 kilograms. Make sure you put in your unit of measurement, and we've got 34 as our range. Right. Now, do you want to, let me just stop recording.